Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. Wow, it's been such a long time. I've missed you guys. I realized that I've been a little bit MIA for the last month or so because it's been such a busy wedding season for me. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Kathy Huynh. I'm a personal finance coach, but I'm also a bridal makeup artist and the owner of Kathy Huynh Artistry. So here in Southern California, the month of May, it's like the peak season for weddings. So I've been just cramming as many appointments in as I can this month, along with as many weddings as I can get to. So that's why I haven't had a lot of free time to come on here and chat with you guys about finance tips that I've learned to add value to your life. But today is my first day off. Really truly a day off for me in the last few weeks, so I wanted to take this opportunity and get on live and share with you some more valuable information. So enough about me, I just want to jump right in. So today what I want to talk about is credit building for starters. So right now, this time of the year, it's when a lot of our, high schoolers are getting out of school, they're graduating, our seniors are graduating, and a lot of people are graduating from college. And a lot of questions that I've been getting in my job is around credit building, especially if, you've just you turn 18 and you haven't had your first credit card yet and you want to get started. I want to show you 3 different ways that you can get this done. Now, please, if you're hopping online, hey Halsey, so if you're hopping on live and online right now, and if you have a younger sibling that's looking to get started in the real world, or if you yourself have never had credit and want to start building credit, please share this video or stay tuned so I can share these 3 easy and useful ways for you to get started. So who is this going to be, so credit card, like who is this going to be good for? So starting a credit card is great for if you have to be like 18 and over. So if you're 18 and over, if you're recently graduating from high school or recently graduating from college and you don't have any credit yet, but you have a job, let's say, this is a great time for you to start building credit. Now, as much as I don't encourage getting into debt or like credit card debt, credit is essential. It is an essential thing for us so that in the future, when you're looking to build, make larger purchase, you have credit to rely on, because unless you're planning to buy everything that you own for the rest of your life, then you don't really need credit. But for the rest of us who is looking to finance maybe a car or finance a home in the future, you definitely need some credit. And the reason why you need to start now as opposed to waiting is because it takes years for your credit to be established. It's not an overnight thing. It's not, a couple months thing. It takes time. It takes about anywhere from 3 to 5 years for you to actually start building up your credit score into a point where it would actually help you get different type of loans for lower interest rate. So I encourage you to start as soon as you can. If you haven't already done so. Now, one thing too is to keep in mind, not only is it for purchasing like a car or a home in the future, but you have to understand nowadays, even if you're renting a place, so let's say if you're now graduating from college and you are looking to move out on your own, renting a place also, most property management companies now require you to have a credit check. And if you don't have any credit at all, they're not going to know how reliable, how responsible you are in paying your bills. So therefore, there's a good chance that you might miss out on that, that dream apartment that you've been wanting to get into because you don't have any credit. So if that's you, please stick around, or if you have a family member that can use these tips, please share this with them. And okay, so the first way that you can start is by getting a secured credit card. So a secured credit card is a credit card that does not require you to have any credit, 0. And the reason being is because to get a secured credit card, the bank, they don't even need to do a credit check. What they do need from you though is you do need to give them some money up front to secure. That's why it's called a secured credit card. So for instance, if you go to your bank and you want a secured credit card, they're going to ask you to hand over, let's say somewhere between $500 to $2,500. So if you give them $500 in exchange, the bank is going to give you a credit card for you to use. But that $500 you can't touch. That's what the bank uses as collateral. In the event that you don't make your credit card payments, they will take from that money. Now, I don't want you to get it confused with a prepaid Visa card. So a prepaid Visa card is, let's say you go to a Walgreens and you load money into a plastic, which is like a Visa card, and you use it at places that accept cards, and the balances go down, and once you use up all of your balance, that card will no longer work. A secured credit card is much different. A secured credit card is you're giving the bank the money, but you're actually not using those funds. Those funds are just there to stay on hold in the event that you don't make your payment. But the bank is going to give you a line of credit to use. So what that means is if you get a line of credit for $500, if you use your card, your secured credit card for $100, they're going to send you, the bank will send you a bill at the end of the month and say that you need to make a payment. So you have to continue to make payments on the secured credit card, even though you already gave them money up front. So I just want to make sure that, people, that you don't get confused between those two. And usually for the secured credit card, because they are using your own funds to secure as like collateral, in exchange, as you're making payments onto the credit card, that's how you're building your credit. There's going to be reporting history that you're on time of your payment every day. And it does affect your credit too. So if you don't make your payment, even though it's a secured credit card, it would also affect your credit. So just keep in mind, you have to definitely treat it like a regular credit card. Okay. Now the second, and one more thing with the secured credit card is because you're giving them money up front, they're not doing a credit check, and you don't need a job. You don't need income because they're not even running an application. They're just using your own money in exchange to give you a credit card. Okay, now the second way is if you don't have a job, you don't have any credit, and you want to have a credit card, you can have somebody in your family, maybe your parent or somebody in your family who has income and credit strength, to have them co-sign for you. So co-signing is a very popular thing, and a lot of people do this, to help their kids or to help their siblings. It's very common and it's perfectly normal. So when you have a cosigner on a credit card, basically what the bank does is instead of just holding you responsible for the credit card, they're also going to hold another person, which is, the cosigner, also equally responsible. So if in the event that you don't make the payment on your credit card, it would also affect the cosigner. So because of that, then they would more likely, because now they have two people being responsible for the credit card, they're more likely to give you the credit card. And once you have that, you still get the same credit. You still build your credit just as much as if you were to have the credit card by yourself. So it's going to be reported evenly and the same way on both your credit report and the cosigner. So this is a very popular way, if your parents are wanting to do this for you, this is a great way to start. And then once you build your credit, maybe over a year or a year and a half, and you're able to make all of those payments on time and have some sort of credit score, you can come back to your bank and ask them to take your parents off from the credit card. And at that time, they'll require you to reapply with just by yourself. And at that time, you're probably in a better position because now you have some sort of credit history. Okay. Now the third way is getting a starter credit card. Now the starter credit card is how I started building my credit many years ago. And a starter credit card is basically a credit card that you would apply by yourself, and it requires them to do a credit check. Now, for starter credit cards, most institutions require you to at least have a job, because you have to have some sort of income, because you're going to be on the credit card by yourself. You have to have some sort of income to to justify how you're going to make payments if you're using a credit card. So so my understanding, a lot of institutions don't do starter credit cards that often anymore, just because it's a higher risk, because you've never had a credit card before, so they're taking a higher risk on you not paying, making a payment and just defaulting on the credit card. So a lot of banks don't do it anymore, but it does not hurt to go into your institution and ask them about it. So with the starter credit card, it's super easy. It's usually just a super small limit. It's going to be a much higher interest rate, because you are a higher risk. But in exchange, you don't have to have anybody co-sign with you, and you don't have to put any money forward to use as collateral. All they usually need is a job. All they usually want is to know that you have a job, and maybe you've been in your job for over 6 months. Usually, if you are on your job for like just a month or two, they might not approve it, because they don't know if it's just like a seasonal job, or is a job that if you're going to stay, and if you don't, then how are you going to make your payment? So if that's if you're working right now and you've been working for the last couple of years, just go to your bank, have them run an application, and do a starter credit card. Another thing too is, if your bank, if they do not offer a starter credit card for you, one way of doing this is going to a department store and getting a department store credit card. Those are typically much easier to get approved for, because their interest rate are super high, and of course they want to encourage you to spend at their location. So you can actually go, but be very clear though, make sure that it's a credit card, not like a rewards card, a credit card, so that you actually get some sort of credit reporting. Usually if that they're submitting an application for a department credit card is if they're asking for your social security number. And typically for a department store credit card, they will approve that pretty quickly, and you can use that card to make purchases, and to continue to make your monthly payment. And over time, the department credit card will definitely help give you some sort of credit reporting, so that you can establish a credit score. Then from there, you can go back to your bank and apply for a regular credit card. Okay, so those are my 3 quick tips for you and anybody that you might know who's looking to start building their credit, but is really not sure which is the best option, or where to go, or how to start. Okay, and it's just super important that just as long as you go out there and just get started, because again, it does take time to build your credit. So if you are already in your, like, let's say mid-20s, and you had no credit history, no credit report at all, you're a little bit behind. So you have to start right away if you're looking to build, if you're looking to have enough credit so that you can buy your first home by the time you're 30. So don't wait on it, and just get started right away. So that's all I have right now. I actually have to get off to get some work done. So please let me know if you found this information helpful, and if there's any other topics that you would like me to cover, please leave them in the comment. And do me a huge favor, if you found this helpful, share it with your friends and family. Hopefully this will also add value for them as well too. Have a great Tuesday, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.